Hey everyone, join me today as I pull out my pansies and my violas. They finally have kind of kicked the bucket and are looking sort of sad in my garden. So I'm going to pull out some of those pansies and violas that I had on my front porch in the pots and replace them just with some Bada Boom Begonias that I got like a 6-pack for 75 cents this past week at my local nursery. So I'm just going to replace those pansies and violas with the begonias, and I think that'll just freshen things up in the front. They won't look so tired, those pots. You can see what it looks like currently, and I'll show you what I got from the nursery this past week. Just some Bada Boom Begonias in the pink color, and these are an annual here in Zone 6B, Western New York is where I'm located. And you can see it has kind of a dark leaf, kind of a glossy dark leaf with the pink bloom. And I think they should do good. They can tolerate sun and shade, but if you do have really hot, sun and hot weather, they would probably benefit with, part sun and some shade as well. So I think I'm going to put them on my front porch, and that gets some afternoon sun, but it also gets quite a bit of shade. So that's what my plan is, just going to freshen things up. Yeah, these are looking kind of sad. I have to say they do last a long time though in my garden. And I just watered these a little bit ago, so the soil is pretty moist. Get rid of those. Like I said, I got a 6-pack for 75 cents, so I have 4 here. I think I have a couple more in the garage. I'm just going to put them everywhere, and I think they will be a nice little... Ooh, these are really hard too. They need water. Oh no. They're definitely going to be a nice flower to transition into fall with. Just put a little biotone in there. I know that the begonia likes well-drained soil, so I don't want to give this too much more water because the soil is pretty moist. But as you can see, I thought I watered these, but they probably just dried up. It's been so hot and humid today. I think the high was 88 today, and let me tell you, the humidity is off the charts right now. It really is. It's really hard to just be outside at least for me, I don't really like to come out in the middle of the day, so, I didn't get out here today to notice that these were suffering. We'll just pot those right up. And I'm just going to give just enough water to wet those a little bit. And they should do pretty good. Well, these are looking a little bit better, but not that great. So I'm just going to pull these out all in one fell swoop here. How is everyone handling this summer heat? I know there's been a heat wave in lots of different areas of the country, and let me tell you, I have become less and less tolerant of the really hot and humid weather, which is usually just like July can be pretty hot here in Western New York, and it makes it difficult, with gardening sometimes. And I know I don't have a drip system. Look at how dry those are. Oh my goodness. Do not let them get this dry. This is a no-no. I probably should have soaked these before, but I'm kind of just wanting to get some things done today, so I am just going to stick them right in. Let me put some fertilizer in there first. you know, sometimes you just do what you got to do. I will make sure I water these in pretty good because this soil is a little bit more dry than the last pot. But I'm just going to stick these right in here. Yeah, it is difficult. Like I was saying, I don't have a drip system in my garden, so it's all me really. You know, of course I get help from my husband, I get help from my boys, but if I don't get out here, especially on those hot and humid days, that could be like the end of my garden. You know, things can die pretty quickly in the hot weather, hot, humid weather. So I try to get out at least once a day. If I do get out twice a day, that's a success. You know, especially if it is hot, you know, it's good to water in the early morning hours and then the evening hours. You know, I find myself trying to get out here as much as I can, but sometimes you can't, you know, so you just hope things don't die on you. So I'm out here this evening just spending a little time trying to fix some things. You know, you're always doing things in your garden. There's always something to fix, always something to tweak. And that's the beauty of it all, really. All right, I think 2 is enough for this pot. This one here will get, I don't want to lose any of that soil. Now it looks like I need to amend this a little bit. This is soil. Oh, look at, there's a little tulip bulb in there. Oh, wow. Yep. A few tulip bulbs that I didn't quite remove all of them. Let me just dig around and see if there's anything else. Wow. Okay. This is from Home Depot. It's the black cow compost. I'm just adding that in just for some additional energy, nutrients. And we'll keep planting. Okay, I gotta get some bug spray because the flies are coming out. I am getting bit up and those things hurt. Okay, sorry, I had to put a little bit of bug repellent on because I started to get eaten up pretty good. Lucy has joined me in the garden. She was inside for a little while, but now she's here. Hopefully she doesn't knock over my camera. Anyway, so it has been hard to, you know, deal with the heat for sure. But I think there's supposed to be a couple more hot days, you know, in the next week, but we are going to have some better days in the garden as well. You know, days that are supposed to cool down until like the low 80s or high 70s, which I can tolerate that much better. I often wonder how it would be, you know, in a desert climate, a dry desert climate. I would think I would be able to tolerate it better just because maybe the humidity wouldn't be as bad, but I don't know really. And when that sun comes out and it's so hot, I just can't stop sweating. I have to get some more water. We celebrated my son Tyler's 16th birthday this Tuesday, yesterday. And actually my 2 older sons were working, so We have special plans Friday as a family to go on the Niagara Whirlpool jet boat, which is a boat that takes you out. You can take off from Canada or the United States side. Am I going to find some tulips in here as well? Let's see. Tulip bulbs. And it takes you into the rapids and the waters of the lower Niagara River. And these are, special boats that can keep you safe while you're doing that. But it's really fun because if you sit in a certain seat, you get totally soaked. So we did purchase the wet ride, and we're looking forward to doing that as a family on Friday. Today's Wednesday. Today is Wednesday, July 16th. So we're going to do that Friday, and then we're going to go out to dinner, and that should be a whole lot of fun. And then yesterday, Tyler and I, we were going to go for a hike, and the trail that we were going to go to, I wasn't really familiar with, and I thought it was kind of in a sketchy area of the city of Buffalo. So I said, why don't we just park by the art gallery and we can walk the streets and look at all the beautiful houses and the gardens. And that was so fun. We really enjoyed that. We walked all around the city and checked out all the beautiful homes and all the beautiful gardens. And right now there is a lot going on in Buffalo in terms of gardens. There's something called Open Gardens, which happens in the month of July on certain days of the week, where people open up their gardens to the public. And we happened to walk by a garden. It was called Greg's Garden. I didn't videotape it because the gardener wasn't home, but he just left a note. He left a note, to call him with any questions, but we didn't have any questions. We just walked on through. But I did take a picture of us. There was a mirror in his garden. He had so many beautiful things in his garden. Took a picture of me and Tyler, enjoying that garden. And so there's open gardens. There's also the East Garden Walk, I believe it's called. And that's, the east side of Buffalo. People open up their gardens. There's certain gardens that you can view as well. And there's also the Garden Walk of Buffalo, which happens, I believe, at the end of this month. I don't have all the specific info at my fingertips, but lots going on in the city of Buffalo in terms of gardening for this time of year. So it was nice to be downtown yesterday, and, I was able to see a couple of gardens on our walk, which was a lot of fun. I just have a couple more pots to fill. Let's see, how many more do we have here? I probably can put 2 in each, maybe 2 or 1. Let's see. What else have I done this week? We also add a little bit more soil to that container. There we go. I think I'm just going to put 1 in this container. It's pretty small. Try to get some of this soil off the ground that I spilled. I also, I was on Facebook one day, and I'm part of a group called Western New York Gardeners, and this woman had posted that she was having a liquidation sale for her nursery. And interestingly enough, I had never heard of the nursery. It was, kind of like a backyard nursery, but quite large. She had quite a a ton of inventories, and she was like a proven winners buyer and I guess grower. I'm not exactly sure. I think her nursery was called Blooming Shrubs Garden. I'll have to double check that name. But anyways, her and her husband were going out of business. They explained, when I got there that they were having a grandchild and they were, just wanting to retire and spend more time with family. Doesn't that look pretty? That'll be good. And so she was having a huge sale, and her inventory, look how good. Those look kind of good. They're leggy, but they look good. Do I want to leave a couple of these in? Eh, I'll pull them out. Their time has come. Anyway, so I think I noticed this. I think I noticed it on Saturday, the post, and they were going, or I don't remember. I think it was Saturday and Sunday they were. Yeah, it was. It was Saturday and Sunday she was going to be open. She's still open and she still has some inventory to get rid of, but it's in Clarence, New York. And anyway, so I went. She was open the one day from like 9 to noon, and I got there right at 9 o'clock. And she had over 4,000 proven winners plants, mostly hydrangeas, and they looked gorgeous. They were in, I think it was in 2-gallon containers, and everything was beautifully potted up and watered just perfectly, ready to sell. And, she had bigger containers that were $20 that, if you wanted to purchase a bigger plant. But she also had smaller size plants for $15 and a wide variety of hydrangeas. In fact, I'll show you, what I ended up buying from that nursery liquidation sale. I kind of went nuts, to be honest with you, because they looked beautiful and it was a good price. They were like $15 for a proven winners, and she said that was her cost that she was selling them for a beautiful proven winners hydrangea, which normally goes, for a lot more than that. So I thought to myself, you know what, I think I'm going to take advantage of this sale. And I ended up getting several hydrangeas. I got several spireas. I ended up getting a couple of arborvitaes that were very tiny. They were $15, but I got 2 of those. I almost wish I would have bought a couple more of, it was the Full Speed Ahead American Pillar Arborvitae, and they were just, hard to resist. So when we're done here, I'll show you what my front porch looks like with the begonias, and then we'll just take a quick look at what I purchased at the liquidation sale. I even called her up this week and asked if she still had, because I didn't see her post anything more on the Facebook group, and I asked her if she still had things for sale, and she did, and she said she was still open certain days. I couldn't, I thought I was going to be able to get there this week again, because I just wanted to see what else she had left, but I wasn't able to get there. So this leaf looks a little dry there. Anyways, I'm excited about all the new plants, but I have to get cracking and figure out where I'm going to put all these new plants, because I want to get everything into the ground before, before frost. I still have a few months. It's not like it's, I need to be in a rush, but time goes by quickly, so I have to start thinking about it. And here we are back on my front porch, and I just placed all of the potted up begonias back on my garden shelf, and it looks much better. I think it's just better to look at than the leggy pansies and violas. And you might think they don't look like much right now, but they will get fuller and fill out the containers well as the season goes on. And I also just put a couple more pots at the base of the steps, and you can see in this pot here I still have pansies and violas that are actually looking good. And right here I just wanted to show you my Senorita Rosalita, Senorita Rosalita Cleome hybrid. It's amazing. Okay, I will just show you all the plants that I got at this liquidation sale. I got several, so let's see. I got this American Pillar Arborvitae, full speed ahead. And I just thought, I mean, it's not very large. Is this a 2-gallon container? I think it is, but I thought the plant itself looked so healthy and good. And I know these can be fast growers, so I picked up 2 of those. And I do have to get back here and water some of these things, I think, too. And I picked up several hydrangeas. Let's see. And let's see, what did I pick? I picked the Invincible Mini Mauvette. And I'm not going to remember how many I got, but we'll see as we go along. But Invincible Mini Mauvette. I also got, ooh, this is gorgeous, Incredible Blush. This is a smooth hydrangea. And let's see if I remember. Let's see. This is just summer interest. Amazingly easy to grow. Incredible Blush hydrangea bears huge pink flowers on strong stems. You can rely on this hardy Annabelle type hydrangea to bloom every year. I thought that might be pretty in the front somewhere. So I got that one, super excited. I also got, do you know what this is, anybody, without me telling you? I know I can tell just by looking at the foliage, but this is the double play candy corn spirea. I know I have a ton of spireas, but I don't have any of the real popular ones, and this is one of them that it turns all these different colors, like red, and then it goes to, I think, orange or yellow and green, and it just gets all of the different shades in there and just has really bright color. So I'm excited to put that in my garden. I got 2 of those. There's another one over here. Let's see, more hydrangeas. I also got Pinky Winky Prime. I got 2 of those, and I thought those might look good in my front garden bed. In the south side garden bed where my spruce trees are, because I kind of want to take out those Violas that aren't looking too hot. So I got 2 of those. Let's see, this is Quickfire Fab Panicle. I don't remember if I got 2 of those or not, but I picked up 1 of those. Wanted to try that out. Here's my other Arborvitae. And this one here, let's see. This one is called Stay Classy Purple Leaf Sand Cherry. That's a shrub. And what can I tell you about that one? It's compact. It says, looking for easy care color for your landscape? Stay Classy Purple Leaf Sand Cherry is a natural choice. Neat, compact habit means no pruning is needed, and deep purple leaves are colorful from spring to fall. So I thought that would look good somewhere in my garden. Always looking to, have all the colors, the reds, the greens, the yellows, the blues. Let's see, this is, I also got this spirea. I think I got 3 of these. This is the double play doozy spirea. Again, just great color. Double play doozy spirea takes this reliable landscape favorite and makes it better. Oh, this is it. I remember now. It blooms nonstop since it doesn't produce seeds. Bright red spring foliage too. So, and I saw the 3 seasons of interest, and I thought, yes, please, for double play doozy spirea. And what else do I have over here? I remember. Oh yeah, this is another Invincible Mini Mauvette. So I got 2 of the Mini Mauvettes. And then this one here, I got a oak leaf. I don't have an oak leaf hydrangea. And I kind of thought about, this is the Ruby Slippers. Local Roots Ruby Slippers. Oak leaf hydrangea. It's a dwarf size too, so it doesn't get extremely huge. 3 to 3.5 feet tall by 4 to 5 feet wide. So I thought that would be just a nice option for my garden. And I like the different look of the leaf, the oak leaf type foliage. And here is just another candy corn. So I needed a couple of those, the double plate candy corn. And I have 2 more of the double plate doozies by my arbor. I just kind of was setting them there just to see how they looked. So I have got a lot of thinking to do as to where I'm going to place all of these plants, but I really couldn't resist with them being 15. I went for all the smaller size. I didn't buy any $20 containers, so each of the containers were like $15. And for something that's going to last forever in your garden, I just thought I couldn't resist that sale. So I'll be excited to share those with you, where I place them in my garden in the future. Thanks for joining me today in my garden as I just take it step by step, garden bed by garden bed, pot by pot. And I'm glad to take you along. I'm glad to share with you always. And I look forward to seeing everyone in my next video. Have a great day.